She built an empire with her bare hands, and he turned his pain into music. Together, they've become one of the most talked about couples in the world. But behind the billion-dollar deals and chart-topping albums, there's a story playing out that no one can look away from. It's a story about resilience, redemption, and the question that everyone keeps asking. Can love survive the weight of fame, ambition, and relentless public scrutiny? Hailey Bieber's rise is the kind of business story that feels like it belongs in a case study. When she launched Rhode in 2022, few expected it to explode into one of the most recognizable skincare brands of her generation. And yet, by 2025, she had turned that dream into a billion-dollar reality. When ELF Beauty swooped in to acquire Rhode for $1 billion in May, the industry gasped. In just 3 years, Hailey had achieved what takes most entrepreneurs decades. But what made the deal even more impressive was the way she negotiated to stay in charge, holding on to her role as Chief Creative Officer. She didn't just cash out, she doubled down, showing the world that Rhode wasn't just a business to her. It was her vision, her baby, her proof that she was more than a name tied to a famous husband. Her image as a new mother only amplified the story. Balancing motherhood, billion-dollar boardrooms, and public whispers about her marriage turned her into a symbol. She wasn't just surviving, she was thriving. And fans couldn't help but see her as a woman who refused to let personal chaos derail her professional triumphs. Every time she appeared at a Rhode launch or shared a glimpse of her family life, the narrative deepened. Hailey Bieber wasn't a victim of circumstances, she was rewriting the script of what modern resilience looks like. But while Hailey was scaling a brand into beauty history, Justin Bieber was fighting a different kind of battle. One waged not in boardrooms, but in studios and on stages. On July 11, 2025, Justin did what he's done best since his teenage years. He shocked the world. Without warning, he dropped SWAG, a 21-track album that instantly became a cultural moment. The numbers alone were staggering. Debuting at number 2 on the Billboard 200, pulling in a career-best 163,000 album equivalent units in its first week, and racking up nearly 200 million streams. But for Justin, this wasn't about numbers. It was about honesty. For years, he had been accused of being too polished, too commercial, too far removed from the vulnerable teenager fans first fell in love with. SWAG shattered that image. It was raw, emotional, and deeply confessional. Critics admitted that for once, it felt like Justin wasn't performing for the charts. He was performing for himself. Every lyric sounded like it had been torn straight from his diary. And for fans who had watched him weather storms of controversy, health scares, and whispers of a troubled marriage, the album felt like a mirror. Finally, the world wasn't just seeing the superstar. They were seeing the man. The lead single, Daisies, released just 3 days later, only poured fuel on the fire. Its lyrics, fragile, tender, and filled with unspoken apologies, sparked immediate speculation. Was this his way of speaking to Hailey in public? Was the song an open letter disguised as pop? Fans dissected every line, turning social media into a hive of theories. One tweet captured the mood perfectly. What if Daisies is his apology? What if this is his way of trying to heal? Suddenly, the music wasn't just entertainment. It was evidence. As the album soared, the debates grew louder. Critics praised Justin's emotional courage while acknowledging that some tracks felt uneven. Fans argued passionately online, with some claiming the music had saved his career and others saying it was a desperate plea wrapped in melody. What no one could deny was this: Justin Bieber had become more relatable than he had been in years. Vulnerability had stripped away the sheen, and for the first time in a long time, people weren't just watching, they were listening. Meanwhile, Hailey's calm public presence became the perfect counterpoint. While Justin poured his soul into music, she continued to hold the fort with unwavering composure. At events, she smiled gracefully. In interviews, she avoided drama and spoke about balance, creativity, and her role as a mother. Fans admired her ability to walk through fire without flinching. "She's been riding out this storm with absolute grace," one viral comment read. To many, she was more than a business mogul. She was a model of endurance. But the couple's story didn't stay neatly divided between business and art. Instead, it became a cultural puzzle that fans tried to piece together. Their Idaho vacation photo, just a single snapshot, set off weeks of speculation. Was this their reset moment? Did the mountains symbolize healing? Fans tied the dots between Justin's lyrics, Hailey's business moves, and their public appearances, crafting theories that blurred the line between reality and interpretation. To their followers, every gesture, every lyric, every silence was a clue. Of course, not everyone was convinced. Some critics argued that the marriage was teetering on the edge, that an ultimatum was long overdue. "If he can clean up publicly, maybe they'll come back stronger," one skeptical post suggested. Others worried that Justin's tendency to drown in the emotional depths of his work would keep pulling him away from home. Even gestures of apology, some argued, felt temporary without consistency behind them. For these observers, the album was powerful, but it wasn't proof. Still, the admiration for both ran deep. Fans praised Hailey for proving that chaos didn't have to define her. They admired Justin for finally shedding his polished armor and showing vulnerability. Even skeptics admitted that the drama had given Justin's artistry a raw honesty that was impossible to fake. Suddenly, their story wasn't just about scandal, it was about survival. And survival, in the world of fame, always makes for compelling drama. Looking ahead, the possibilities split into 3 clear paths. In the best-case scenario, Justin and Hailey grow stronger, grounded by parenthood and united in purpose. Their Idaho getaway becomes the turning point, their son the anchor that keeps them steady, and their careers flourish without overshadowing their marriage. Fans long for this version of the story, the one where love not only survives but thrives. The second path is more turbulent. Justin's creative immersion could continue to clash with his responsibilities at home. His art may flourish, but at the cost of cycles of tension and reconciliation. The headlines would never die, the music might stay raw, but the private cost would be steep. For Hailey, the respect she earns for her strength could slowly turn into exhaustion. And for Justin, the challenge would be proving that artistry and accountability can coexist. The third path is perhaps the most strategic. Together, they could decide to own the narrative, not run from it. By appearing publicly as a united front, giving joint interviews, or even launching collaborative projects, they could transform scrutiny into power. Instead of being remembered as a couple struggling under the spotlight, they could rebrand themselves as the resilient partners who turned chaos into strength. It would not only cement their marriage in public eyes, but also fortify both their careers. It's risky, but powerful. Through it all, one truth remains. Their story resonates because it mirrors struggles everyone understands. Fame makes it bigger, but the core is familiar. What happens when love collides with ambition? What happens when work consumes the person you love most? Can music heal wounds that words cannot? Millions are watching, but millions also see themselves in the questions. For Hailey, her trajectory continues upward, her billion-dollar deal becoming a symbol of empowerment. For Justin, the test is whether vulnerability can coexist with stability. Together, they embody the contradictions of modern love. Public, yet private, fragile, yet powerful, broken, yet healing. Their fans don't just want to be entertained, they want to believe. To believe that love, even under the harshest light, can survive. And maybe, just maybe, that's where their real power lies. Because when music carries truth, and when business carries resilience, sometimes the two collide into something bigger than either one alone. Maybe this time, it will be enough.